We're going to start off today with some fun animal videos. And for those of you that don't know, my name is Ethan. Welcome to Creature Guide Live. Pull up the first set of videos. Alrighty, let's see. What do we have here? So, seems like a capybara, I'm guessing, with the duck. I'm guessing they're buddies. Oh, yeah. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, that is an extremely relaxed capybara, but it must feel extremely pleasant. Maybe he's getting certain parasites off his fur.
I don't know, but it is funny. It just
I'm
what is it
guessing
again?
somewhere in like Brazil or Florida. All right, well, let's head over to the next one.
Let's give him a.
Yeah, there are two distinct species of capybara. One that inhabits northern South America, so over in Panama, Colombia area, and the other that inhabits most of Brazil, and it Uruguay, I believe. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, he does not want to come down. I mean, he does. Oh, he's one of he just seems one of those braver lions. Usually, they tend to just run off from the buffalo, especially if there's a whole herd. But this individual is pretty unique. Whoa, sheesh, that was a bit of a surprise. Those are some aggressive females. I wonder where this is occurring, like over in some part of Tanzania or maybe Kenya. I don't think this doesn't look like a South Africa area. I could be wrong, but it's too um I'd say there's not enough brush. Like South Africa is just full of dead dense scrubland. That would be very interesting.
I
Really
just
would.
thought that was hilarious. I mean,
Yeah, I was concerned about that lion. I'm like, get out of the way. Um, so let's see. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So some elephant herd. I think this looks like could also be over somewhere in maybe Tanzania. This lioness seems pretty calm.
I just liked how she was so relaxed getting off of there.
Looks like it's the wet season, considering the female elephant seems like she's in pretty good condition, but also everything's pretty green. She just took a few steps and decided to lie down.
No fear.
Yeah, you can tell the female elephant's trying to push her off of the little mound. It was such a respectful elephant. It's like, listen, if I don't have to smush you, I won't. I respect that elephant.
And
Is this a wild setting?
woohoo!
Huh. I wonder where this is taking place. And the crocodile actually looked like it was having fun.
That's why I wouldn't watch it again. It's a water park for the crocodile. Sorry, alligator or crocodile?
I think it's a Nile crocodile. All right. Well, oh boy, what's going on here?
Get off my back. Ah!
That's fake.
Is it?
Yeah. Something seemed completely off about that. It's like, where did the line go? Unless it just that is yeah. It also didn't pop back up.
Oh, and it's
Even-
walking.
It even landed on the side of the wildebeest. So if anybody that would have been crushed, it would have been the wildebeest itself. But also, like the way the lion was handling the wildebeest in this instance, um, the way it's attacking it also for this long of a period. This is more of like a bear attack. Bears tend to attack the shoulder blade. Not that lions won't, but she would be probably holding on to the neck and not be right at the edge of a cliff. Um, so yeah, I think that was probably AI.
And it looks dead. So the bird's
Uh,
doing CPR.
was it trying to?
I don't know what it's doing, unless it was trying to wake it up or checking if it was
I
dead.
I've got a feeling it was trying to breed the cat.
What?
Something just didn't make any sense.
That's
Like even the cat noticed.
it's why he's slapping him.
Talk about assault.
Okay, this is just cute. Get up, move it.
Yeesh, that's a big push. Oh, I don't know what to say about that. I think that was a little bit of a push. Could have just shooed the people away and let the calf take its time, but oh, he got up.
Okay, one left.
Oh, this occurrence. I think this happened like back in 2020 or 2019, I think. Yeah, nobody here. Well, okay, yeah, there was a bit of a push.
Oh, that
Yeah.
kid.
Um,
The calf got smushed. We always think that rhinos could actually battle the elephants.
yeah, they really can't. There's quite a few instances where elephants have just stabbed the backs of rhinos. The rhino really just has to get out there. It doesn't matter if it's a full-grown bull. Um, neither neither the males or the females can um, battle even a medium-sized elephant. The only thing that works is intimidation and running. That bull elephant obviously was uh, being quite graceful. Okay, so let's go to the first article from discoverwildlife.com. What just happened? Okay, here we go. Tiny mammal the weight of a sugar cube discovered in Ethiopian highlands, and it's totally new to science. One of the world's smallest mammals has been discovered, and it weighs just 3 grams. That's pretty tiny. Of course, it's a species of shrew, if this is what it's referring to. A tiny shrew weighing the same as a sugar cube has been described as new to science following a decade of research. Its body is just 5 centimeters in length. During fieldwork in 2023 in southern Ethiopia, researchers had been repeatedly catching the same common montane rodent species when, after 10 days, a different and very small shrew was found in the bottom of a pitfall trap. I will never forget that moment. I called out to the others. The little shrew looked like something we had only seen once before. Its scientific species name, Stanley, is a tribute to William Bill Stanley, a former colleague and an evolutionary biologist. He had previously caught a similar shrew during fieldwork in 2015 in another area of the highlands and died shortly after. Genetic and morphological analysis revealed that the shrews caught in 2015 and 2023 were the same species and new to science. So, wow, yeah, there's it's true. It's a very tiny individual. I'm guessing has extremely fast metabolism. Is probably having to feed every 20 to
I
30
can't even
minutes.
tell what I'm looking at.
He's right down here.
I know, but I mean, I just can't tell.
Yeah, he does look a bit like maybe some sort of a rat or a mouse, but very distantly related. The individual, a young adult male shrew that Bill caught in 2015, went on to become the holotype, the single specimen upon which the new species is based. It was an obvious choice to name it after Bill Stanley, who meant so much to us into the field of research. We were deeply moved when it became clear that he had been lucky enough to find a new species. The Ethiopian highlands, where this shrew was discovered, are known for their endemic species. Ethiopia has just over 100 rodent species, 43 of which are endemic to the highlands. I thought, wow, what an exciting time to be a biologist. We are still living in an era where we get to enjoy the discovery of species, the most fundamental unit of biodiversity. Despite its tiny size, it is not the smallest shrew species in the world. That accolade is currently held by the Etruscan shrew, Suncus etruscus, which has an average body length of just 4 centimeters and an average weight of only 1.8 grams. Yeah, I thought that sounded a little large with the shrew being 3 grams. I guess that's it. Okay, well, let's head over to the next article. Glad we found a new species of shrew. From CBC.ca, January 17th, pumas preying on penguins in Patagonia and more. Ants make sacrifices why deep sea fish are strange, mapping Antarctica and how chimps learn to reason. Okay, so what do we have here? So it seems that we have a cougar carrying, um, not a rockefeller, not a macaroni penguin. There's 4 different species of penguin over in South America. You have the, smaller king penguin species, which is the second largest species of penguin on Earth. They get to about 30 to 40 pounds, or a little over 15 kilograms.
I have never seen this before.
Yeah, this is not common for cougars over in Argentina where this is occurring. So obviously they're going over to the coast to feed on the penguins. And let's see. Yeah, the macaroni penguins, the Rockefeller penguins, and then there's one other species starts with an M. It's not hitting me. That's a great picture. Pumas are making a comeback in Patagonia. After almost a century of being chased out by humans, now that the big cats are coming back to an ecosystem that evolved without them, they're feasting on penguins instead of their typical prey animals. Using trail cameras and tracking collars, ecologist Mitchell Sirota from Duke Farms in New Jersey tracked what this change in diet could mean for the apex predators. He discovered that thanks to this new food source, the typically solitary animals are living closer to other pumas, making this region now home to the most dense puma population in the world. I didn't know that when it came to the cougars over in Patagonia. I thought that referred to like what is it, Vancouver Island? But maybe that's the largest pumas in the world and not the densest population of pumas or cougars, same thing. So let's see. Oh, wow, he's just testing their fat content. He's like, yeah, I guess this one's a little too lean. Maybe the other one will be better, but I'm guessing this is a penguin pair. So they're both going to end up as lunch. I'm guessing maybe that's their nest. Wow, though, that's a great picture. Researchers say that because the penguins didn't evolve with terrestrial predators around, they don't know how to react to pumas. I think they still know that it's a carnivore, and they have to deal with animals like orcas in the ocean. So let's see.
Are orcas furry?
It's really, I guess, technically no. What they rely on for insulation is their blubber. So, new research in Uganda has found that chimpanzees can rationally weigh evidence, a trait that used to be thought as uniquely human. In the study, the chimps showed they too could change their minds when presented with stronger evidence. We share. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it's mentioning a few things about ants and chimps. Doesn't seem to be mentioning anything new about ants, or technically even the chimps. We already knew this. The cougar thing was really interesting. Um, okay, let's head over to the next article. So, from discoverwildlife.com, crocodile experts are gathering eggs from nests in Laos. Critically endangered Siamese crocodiles are getting a head start in Laos, thanks to
Is that Laos?
Laos, thanks to local conservation teams. So, yes, we do have saltwater crocodiles over in Southeast Asia as well as India, and then all the way down to Australia. Crocodile conservationists in Laos have shared heartwarming footage of incredibly rare baby crocs hatching. The video comes from a conservation project between WCS Laos, government partners, and local communities, which aims to restore one of the world's most endangered crocodilians, the Siamese crocodile. Oh, okay. Well, saltwater crocodiles from Asia tend to come to mind, but then there is the Siamese crocodile. There's also the mugger crocodile over in South Asia, tends to be more concentrated over in India, and then you have the Garrel. So mugger crocodiles are close to the size of saltwater crocodiles. They can reach around 18 feet in length. They're pushing over 5 meters and probably weigh somewhere around 1,600 pounds or a little over 750 kilograms. The group is encouraged by the project's successes, which have been outlined in a new report in the newsletter of the Crocodile Specialist Group. I wonder how many animal I wonder how many animals now have specialist groups. So you have the elephant specialist group, polar bear specialist group, now the crocodile specialist group. In the clip, the conservation team can be seen picking a shell fragments off an egg to help the hatching crocodile wriggle free from inside. Mm, guess we could take a look. So this happened extremely recently. I'm guessing you'll probably hear the chirping. Well, I mean, if you were,
I have the sound off on it.
yeah, well, I was just referring to when crocodiles are hatching and even alligators, you tend to hear a bit of a chirp. Oh, wow. Well, at least so far. Oh, yeah, it's a very healthy individual.
I can understand when people see this, they want them, but I
Yeah, they look
not
cute at
past
first,
the
and
point of they're that big.
yeah, they look adorable and easy to handle, and then also with crocodiles, apparently many people forget to pay attention to them, but they tend to do that also with a lot of pets.
And then they eat your other animals.
Oh well, yeah. Eggs collected from nests by local teams are incubated to help the little one's chances of survival. After hatching, the newborns are reared until they are ready to be released back into the wetlands. The group says hundreds of little Siamese crocs have been head started in this way since 2019. Oh, okay, so this isn't new. The whatever conservation group this is has been, I guess, hatching these Siamese crocodiles since 2019. That's good to hear considering how rare they are. The teams build on long held cultural beliefs that crocodiles are spiritual guardians, creating powerful incentives for protection. Siamese crocodiles are categorized as critically endangered. Experts believe there are fewer than 1,000 mature adults in the wild. Okay, I didn't realize they were that rare. That is quite concerning. It's like the Garrel situation. I think when it comes to Garrel, it's somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 individuals over in India. Recovery is possible even for species on the edge of extinction. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, so I guess this is where they're extracting the eggs from the Siamese crocodile's nests. Oh, oh, that's it. Okay. Well, head over to the next article. And don't forget to like
Okay.
and subscribe.
So I picked some very short articles today.
Um, yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely quite an insight that we're getting with those Siamese crocodiles. So from foxnews.com, limping dinosaurs twisted path puzzles paleontologists 150 million years later. Very rare. University of Queensland researchers analyzed over 130 fossilized footprints from a sauropod dinosaur near Are. Hmm. I don't think that's not the dinosaur. Hawaiian petroglyphs on Oahu Beach. Paleontologists may have uncovered the traces of a dinosaur that may have been limping thanks to fossilized footprints preserved in stone for over 150 million years. In November 25th press release from the University of Queensland, Australian officials announced that the discovery was made at an ancient trackway near Are, Colorado. Measuring over 310 feet long, the trackway consists of around 130 footprints. The dinosaur that made the track was likely four-legged and long-necked, belonging to the sauropod clade. Well, depending on the size of these footprints and covering around 310 feet or 100 meters, like that could be a decent amount of footprints and gain quite an insight into what animals were making these footprints in the region. I'm guessing it's not just one individual, especially if it's a sauropod. Regardless of the age, usually the animal would be wandering in a herd, but or migrating with a herd. Now, you always do have the possibility where there was specifically like certain outsiders. Maybe it was a bachelor herd of males. We don't know. Speaking to Fox News Digital UQ paleontologist Anthony Romilio, said a long looping dinosaur trackway like the Colorado one is very rare. Trackways that are turning are even rarer. Trackways that loop, well, there are only two known in the world, the one in Colorado and one in China. I wonder what the one in China was. So here are the footprints. I'm guessing those aren't small. If we're referring to some sauropod dinosaur and it doesn't sound like it was a chick or a baby sauropod. Now, I'm calling them chicks because they're part of the Saurischian lineage of dinosaurs. Um, so they're more closely related to theropods than the horned ceratopsians or the stegosaurs. But you could also just call them hatchlings. So let's see. Dinosaurs' 150 million year old footprints show signs of a limp. Okay, so we are in the late Jurassic. Hmm. I haven't even said whether or not this could be a brachiosaur, some sort of a menkosaurid, a diplodocid. So this is really a big question. All those three are different families of long necked sauropod. However, a rock slide has destroyed the one in China. Oh, that's really unfortunate. That's sad. So that leaves this to be the only existing looping dinosaur trackway in the world. Though the exact species is unknown, Romilio said that Camarasaurus and Diplodocus are two dinosaur species that roamed Colorado at that time. Okay, well, that's definitely a huge insight. Now, many more species of sauropod did exist in late Jurassic Colorado, but it sounds like the tracks are similar to one of the two, but Camarasaurus and Diplodocus come from two completely different lineages of sauropod. Camarasaurus was equivalent to being front wheel drive with its weight shifted more over the shoulders and front feet, kind of like with what we see over on the brachiosaurs. And so there is a tendency to leave deeper handprints than footprints. Ah, ah. Okay, so Diplodocus, on the other hand, was equivalent to being rear wheel drive with weight shifted over the hips, meaning its footprints are deeper than handprints. So I'm guessing by handprints, it's referring to the forelegs of the animal. Whether the dinosaur,
The idea that it even said handprints is pretty funny.
yeah, actually, it would have been a bit more, scientifically accurate if you use the term paw prints. That's just my guess. Maybe that's more of a mammal thing. Whether the dinosaur was limping because of a conflict with another dinosaur is also unknown for now. It is difficult to determine whether other dinosaurs were present at that time. Whoa. I really wonder
So it just walked in a circle?
um if it's the same individual. Seems that way. That's pretty impressive if one specific Diplodocus or Camarasaurus created this. Let's see. Anything else? Mm, hmm. By assessing the difference between the steps made with the left leg versus that from the right, we found there was a statistically significant difference across the 130 plus footprints. There was clearly a difference, but whether that was due to a prior injury resulting in a persistent limp and simply having preference for one side over the other is speculation. We need a time machine to know for sure. People seem to be more apt for the Camarasaurus in this instance. I have to be honest though. This is a bit of a small Camarasaurus. It should be much taller and have a lot more weight on it. This animal looks like he might weigh not much more than 3 tons, maybe a little more. Okay, let's see. The looping trackway has been known to residents since the mid 1950s. It was accessible, frequently visited, and quietly appreciated long before it entered scientific discourse. That's shocking. Nobody mentioned this? Maybe they wanted just their little private, footprint collection. I get it. It was only much later that the site was formally um, communicated to researchers, with the first scientific study undertaken roughly 5 years ago. The paleontologist said that the long trackways make detailed analysis logistically difficult, but thanks to digital tools, they're able to analyze them with far greater precision and completeness than was previously possible. Oh, so here are the prints.
Those look huge.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, really well preserved. Yeah, they possibly do look more of like a Camarasaur sort of a track. So the latest discovery is one of many dinosaur-related finds made headlines in 2025. Earlier this year, a Connecticut high school student found a 150 million-year-old fossil from the Jurassic era at a Montana dig. Oh, I thought I was going to say over in Connecticut. I'm like, really? You did?
Wait,
Um,
didn't we see that?
um,
I thought I sent you that article.
I don't remember. Let's see. And around the same time, scientists announced the discovery of a new dinosaur species called Raptor caustuli in Argentina. That's not hitting me either. So, this was definitely really good to see over in Colorado.
My turn.
Okay, so we're gonna have another video arrive. Fake. No way. I mean, we can play it. No way. That was AI. Yeah, those are okay. This one, I think I might have viewed this a little while back. I'm not sure.
I always find it funny when they're doing this stuff. And there he goes.
These might be
I
realistic.
think they are. Is that like his? Uh, are you gonna get smacked? Nope.
Yeah.
No. Okay, that's just what? How do you even get there?
I
Oh,
will say though, all these cats seem to be getting along pretty well with all these different cows and horses and sheep. Okay, the sheep not so much. At least that one individual. Kind of wonder if it was just the sheep being extremely aggressive. Okay, another one. Oh, okay, this specific relative of the calling loon.
well, it says it's a courtship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is them.
I swear it was clear before.
It is quite interesting how this works for reproduction with these species. It's almost simple.
This I just found interesting.
I think this is realistic. Oh, what species of shark? It's not hitting me what this is.
But
As well as the different species of fish that are basically cleaners, as well as four manta rays.
isn't that? I thought it said these were children. Did it not?
No, no. Those aren't
Mom shark. Do do do.
children.
Okay, one more. Okay, this says that the lion fell asleep in the wrong place.
No. Oh, okay. So that's the male. Yeah, this is quite common, especially when stranger males come into different lion prides. Even if there's a lead female and they haven't had a male take over the pride yet, they can still kick one out. This also seems to be a bit of a younger individual.
He
He's
doesn't
like
seem very big.
3 to 4 years old. Well, also his mane's not fully matured or fully developed. That's interesting. Sometimes it's been occurring quite a bit where a younger male, and it could be anywhere between like year old to a little over three, will come into a pride, and then the male or two of the males will come over and get a big whiff of the cub and realize that it was one of their own or close relative, and they get the females to stop attacking him. So let's head over to the next article from discoverwildlife.com. Walking sharks found off Australian coast. A closer look reveals extraordinary new discovery. The find suggests that equolate sharks, known for their unusual ability to walk along the sea floor, could be more resilient to environmental threats than we thought. Oh, it's one of these sand sharks. Researchers have discovered that epaulet sharks, also known as walking sharks because of their ability to walk across the seafloor using their fins, can reproduce without any measurable rise in energy use. Reproduction is usually incredibly energy intensive for most animals, but no one had measured direct metabolic cost of sharks laying eggs until now. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if that's the case for many species of animals that we don't know how much energy it takes for the females to create or lay the eggs. The study published in Biology Open was based on five mature female equalate sharks from waters around Magnetic Island and Bagal Beach in Queensland on the east coast of Australia. So, oh, oh yeah, there's one. Wow, that is interesting. I mean, looking at the way that's splaying its fins, barely moved.
Hold on, I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna play it again.
It's just
Yeah, it's just laying there.
not sure if it's relaxing or. Reproduction is the ultimate investment. You are literally building new life from scratch. We expected that when sharks make this complex egg, their energy use would shoot up, but there was no uptick in energy use. It was completely flat. Interesting. I really thought there would have been some uptick in energy. The findings suggests that Apollo shark populations could be more resilient to environmental threats than we thought. Yeah, they're not using very much energy in this instance. This work challenges the narrative that when things go wrong, such as warming oceans, that reproduction will be the first thing to go. What? What does a warming ocean have to do with reproduction? At
Well,
least,
first of all, some oceans are supposed to be warm.
well, also, but eradicating it. I understand a certain fish or some type of species not being able to adapt, which you could say, okay, ends the species. But I'm just seeing reproduction as a whole with everything because that's what it's made out like a simple little interval in like certain climate or weather patterns can just doom everything on Earth except roaches. Under environmental stress, many species will choose between survival and reproduction, but the polyp shark might be able to continue to produce eggs even under such stressors. That's encouraging because healthy sharks equal healthy reefs. I don't think I would compare that with a reef. I mean, the coral reefs are having a huge problem right now, not really due to temperatures in the ocean, but more of the sea urchins destroying them. I mean, not sea urchins. I'm confusing coral reefs with kelp force. So, it's the starfish that are destroying the coral reefs. So we're having to go in and individually take out the starfish since very little attacks starfish. Okay, so there's the egg and the forming shark.
I was gonna say, what are we looking at?
It
Okay.
is kind of freaky with certain species of shark where you will have it where inside of the mother cannibalism occurs between the siblings. So they will literally eat each other to win that specific
That is just freaky.
ability to finally.
Imagine if someone that was having twins was having that happen.
Um, yeah, doesn't even happen in Alien. It was like the beginning of Dinosaur. Oh,
That's
that's it. Okay. Well, let's head over to the next article from Sci News. So, paleontologists discover new species of false saber-toothed cat. Well, that's really good to hear. A new genus and species of Nimravid. So, this is the group of saber-tooths that include animals such as Barbarophilus. So, this was around the late Miocene epoch, about 6 to 8 million years ago. From the Middle Oligocene epoch. Okay, well, here we're referring to about 30 to 32 million years ago, has been identified from the fossilized remains found in northern China. The discovery fills a gap in knowledge about the Nimravidae family in the eastern part of Eurasia. Let's see. Tautianimravis songhai lived in what is now China during the Middle Oligocene, approximately 28 million years ago. Okay, so it's a bit later than I estimated. The ancient species belonged to Nimravidae, an extinct family of saber-toothed hypercarnivores, sometimes known as false saber-toothed cats. Yeah, he does have very distinct canines. This is not a usual canine pattern that you see usually with different species of saber-tooths, even the smaller ones. So, um, who would you compare? It's almost like a clouded leopard to an extent in the way that the canines are situated, but he almost also has like um much larger molars compared to most other saber-toothed
It
cats.
almost looks like gums and not, teeth.
Well, I was going to say it's almost like a hyena sort of a look. Hyenas have extremely large molars compared to their skull size. Let's go back. So let's see. The order Carnivora exhibits one of the widest range of body size diversity within Mammalia, spanning from approximately 50 grams for the least weasel, Mustela nivalis. The shrews aren't on there? That's strange. Should be the shrews. To an average of over 3 tons in the pinniped marunga, said Dr. Quaigo Jiangzhou from the Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology and Paleoanthropology at the Chinese Academy of Sciences and colleagues. With few exceptions, such as ursidae, large bodied terrestrial carnivores, particularly those exceeding 20 kilograms or around 50 pounds, typically adopt a macrocarnivorous diet, preying on large animals of comparable or greater size. Um, that's not necessarily true. You have it where okay. Maybe I'm confusing the weasel for something else, but yeah, you have it where certain stoats, like over in Britain, will hunt rabbits that weigh a few pounds or a little over 2 kilograms. So um, that's pretty much correct when it comes to the larger carnivores in that realm going after much larger prey items. With let's see, the family Nimravidae, commonly referred to as false saber-tooths, represents one of the earliest diverging lineages of carnivora, characterized by large body size, hypercarnivorous craniodental morphology, and presumably a macrocarnivorous diet. The earliest confirmed fossil records of the family in the Middle Eocene belong to already highly specialized species with felid craniodental morphology. Nimravidae underwent a radiation during the Eocene Oligocene, so somewhere between 55 and 22 million years ago, with the best preserved records found in North America, where numerous skulls and complete skeletons have been discovered. So fossil remains are also abundant in Eurasia, but are less well preserved. Yet the first lineage of carnivora to evolve large body size, Nimravidae, is an ideal group to study exploration of the early macrocarnivorous niche by carnivora, an environmental context vastly different from that of the modern world. The skeletal remains of Tatiam nimravis songhai were discovered in the Qingxing Formation in northern China. The analysis of the specimen showed that the new species represents a non saber-tooth ectomorph form with initial bone cracking adaptation, a unique form among the Nimravidae gamete. Oh, that's interesting because with certain species of Nimravids, they tend to show quite not necessarily delicate jaw structures, but not really meant for crushing bone. So this is definitely a very unique attribute for really any type of saber tooth. Remember, of the macrodontomorph lineage of cats. So let's see. The animal probably had a killing behavior that was different from any other felid like carnivores, but probably used a tearing bite, as seen in hyenas. So it wasn't just me. Those teeth did look much more similar to a hyena than they do other big cats, especially saber-tooths. The most distinctive characters of the new Nimravid are the very short and robust upper canine and the overall broad palatal region. The rostrum is very wide, probably one of the widest among the known Nimravids. The rostrum. It's not hitting me what part of the skull that is. Unlike in many other felid like carnivores, the premolars are not reduced in size but instead enlarged, leaving no diastema between the canine and the cheek teeth. Whoa, that's quite something. This contrasts with the condition in most felid like carnivorans, where a diastema is almost invariably present. We interpret this gap as correlated with a strong canine bite and using canines to deeply puncture into the prey. The team's phylogenetic analysis places Titanomirivus songi within Nimravinae, where it forms a sister lineage to European and North American Nimravis and Dinolaris. Interesting. So there's a lot going on here with its evolutionary relationship with these two other genera of saber-tooths. Let's see. Um, yeah, and also, yeah, the premolars being enlarged when it comes to these types of teeth. This is not something that you see in really most other saber-tooths. So the clade is sister to the European lineage Eophilus, Dinalorictus, and Querularis. No, wait, Quercarlus. An increase in body size among Nimravidae appears to have coincided with the demise of Oxynidae, another carnivorous clade in the Paleogene. So earlier Cenozoic era. Not familiar with the Oxynidae. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard of the Oxynidae. The initial emergence of macrocarnivorous adaptation of carnivora by a felid like ecomorph probably reflects competition dynamics. Nimravidae successfully occupied several ecological niches that were not exploited by Felidae. I wonder what that is. Probably owing to the lack of competition within carnivora during much of their evolutionary history. Our study underscores the role of both abiotic and biotic factors in shaping niche availability for these animals, emphasizing the need for discussions on niche change and evolution to be grounded in these considerations. Okay, well, that was really good to see with this specific saber tooth. I'm glad that now we have a bone crushing saber tooth for sure.
My turn.
Okay. Let's look at another video. So these just seem to be two calm male lions on the road.
Blocking the traffic.
This got to be. Oh, you know where this might be? It looks like they're inside of a crater. I think this is the Ngorongoro crater. These lions don't have a lot of genetic variety, which is interesting considering they're I wouldn't say they're necessarily nearby, but they're not exactly too far away from the densest lion population in Africa, which is the Serengeti population, the whole Serengeti ecosystem.
Okay, this one I'm doing because I always like these.
The
Is
young
that's
male
a different
is
one.
that's a young male greeting them, or at least her. Nope,
It,
them too.
it, it just sat on her lap.
Wonder where this occurred.
Oh, it's nice that everyone could be that comfortable. Yeah, that one wasn't that comfortable. That guy's like,
Yeah, wow. Those two are extremely laid back. I'm extremely curious about where that occurred.
Okay, this one, is this real? I have two of them I was wondering
Oh
about.
yeah, yeah, I remember this too. I think this took place over in Lake Tahoe, so over in Nevada. Yep. Oh, okay. Well, this part of Lake Tahoe is over in California. It's quite common for black bears and even mothers with their cubs to take them to swim over in the lake, like adjacent to a bunch of people.
She just doesn't worry about the people.
For the most part, no. It is interesting how she stays in the shallow end, which I guess makes sense. I mean, the cubs are learning how to swim and they're not very tall either.
Okay, this one I'm just I watched it 3 or 4 times trying to figure out if this is real.
Um, um, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Maybe not.
I watched it. It's like, okay, but where'd all the snow go?
Part of me says no. Yeah, it was probably fake. Okay, so one of those Galapagos iguanas.
His face.
They seem to really like the camera. Forget who hunts them in this region. I think possibly a certain species of sharks.
Okay, one more. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, uh, I'd like to be positive towards this, but it's one of those mahout elephants. They aren't exactly treated very well.
Well,
But yeah, he is a very friendly calf.
how much is he sucking down? Okay. Here.
Okay, so heading over to the next article from discoverwildlife.com. U.S. officials parachuted 76 beavers into the Idaho wilderness. Then something astounding happened. In post World War II North America, beavers were wreaking havoc in rural communities. So the State Department came up with an ingenious solution involving parachutes. Okay. Not sure what that's referring to. It seems to be a shocked beaver.
Did he just parachute in?
Well, that too. Oh, his dam. He's got damage. So he has to repair that. That won't take long. What's the best way to relocate a horde of beavers? That's a puzzle the Idaho Fish and Game Department had to solve in 1948 after it kept receiving complaints about the furry rodents. After World War II, many people moved further away from Idaho's capital, Boise, to more rural areas such as Payette Lake and McCall. However, a beaver population was already established in these regions, and people weren't happy with them chomping down trees and building dams as it affected their properties. Um, that is quite interesting. I guess I forget like how like large even back then Boise was. As the department recognized the significant role that beavers play as ecosystem engineers and realized the money they could save by moving the beavers elsewhere instead of building dams to stabilize water supplies, they chose to relocate the animals instead of exterminating them. I actually would think you'd be more well, okay, you have to find them. That's true. Okay, let's see. Is this all the way back then? I guess this is after parachuted to the ground, and I guess it just automatically opens. Or maybe they opened the box for them. So it was decided that the beavers would be relocated further south at the Chamberlain Basin in the Sawtooth Mountain Range in central Idaho. Initial attempts to move the beavers involved transporting them via horse, mule, and truck, but this took too much time across the mountainous areas and the beavers would overheat in their carrier boxes. That's when Idaho Department of Fish and Game employee Elmo W. Heater. Okay.
Elmo? Seriously?
Yep. Came up with an unusual idea. The beavers could be put into hinged wooden boxes, each fitted with a surplus wartime parachute, and then dropped out of a plane. The boxes would automatically spring open upon landing. So I guess like the stork, except these are full-grown beavers. I haven't heard of or seen this type of relocation before. After initial dummy weight testing, Header ran experiments with an old male beaver the team named Geronimo, who has dropped, oh gosh, who was dropped in a parachute fitted box again and again on a flying field. In August 1948, a Beechcraft plane took off with 8 crates of beavers, a pilot, and a conservationist to make the first official drop. In the following days, 76 beavers were parachuted and neared the basin. I like how it added pilot. It's like just letting you know that this plane um, was not.
Had a pilot?
Yeah,
There, had a pilot.
I don't think we have self-driving planes, but maybe I'm wrong.
We definitely didn't have them a long time ago.
All but one survived the drop, and the beavers went on to transform the landscape. With the operation generally considered a success, the positive impact of the beavers was demonstrated in 2018 when a wildfire ripped through land near Bog Creek, a tributary of the Little Wood River in the Sawtooth National Forest. So this is like the southern range of the forests of northern Idaho. While most of the surrounding landscape was torched, areas close to the river remained mostly untouched by the blaze. Aerial images taken by NASA's Earth Observatory show the striking difference in vegetation growth between regions with beaver activity and those without. Let's see. Yeah, of course it's going to be much greener in that area. Wow, that's the greenest area, not including these specific areas on the top end of the screen. I guess over here on the side, there's probably beavers there. I'm not sure what the estimate is for beavers over in Idaho, but that's definitely a very green area in the middle. So let's see, it's in Landsat 9. Further development in the story occurred in 2015 when a historian found a film that the department made about the operation in the 1950s that was thought to have been lost. So let's see what occurred here. Uh, okay, guess we should take a little bit of a look what happened if it actually shows the whole footage. Um, I guess
Oh, it
this
is
is
the old footage.
yeah. I guess they just had it colored. Hmm. It's definitely some willow area. Wow. So is this after they already parachuted, or after they capture them and then they have to parachute them? Okay, so I guess they're tagging them. Yeah, forget in the 1950s they were already tagging the beavers. Oh, okay, so they haven't parachuted them yet. This is like something from Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, but I don't remember them ever parachuting animals. Yeah, I'm guessing for the most part, beavers really only um, inhabit the northern part of Idaho. They're, for the most part, really non-existent in different parts of the central part of the state. There's very few trees in the region. There might be certain populations over in the eastern area, like adjacent to southern Montana, as well as um, western Wyoming. Maybe a handful near northern Utah, like near adjacent to Bear Lake. Oh, okay. So this is after it was released. Oh, okay. That's good. All right. Yeah, that's it with that. So let's head over to the next article. From discoverwildlife.com, gigantic 10-foot wide raptors released in Patagonian mountains. The Andean condor is the largest raptor in the world and can live for up to 70 years. And so these guys can have a wingspan of around 10 feet or pushing 3 meters. And are probably, for the most part, just scavenging for different animals. But occasionally, they will feed on smaller ungulates or deer in the region, as well as, well, okay, we're talking about Andean condor. Might go after young guanacos or the small relatives of llamas within the region, or even vicuñas. So, cheered on by local community groups, three rehabilitated Andean condors have been released into the skies of the Patagonia National Park, Chile. Their liberation is part of the Mancu Project, a conservation effort led by the Rewilding Chile Foundation, which seeks to strengthen populations of this iconic Andean bird. So, okay, so we're possibly in Patagonia National Park. Weighing in at up to 15 kilograms or pushing, 35 to 40 pounds. With a wingspan of over 3 meters or about 10 feet, the Andean condor is the world's heaviest and biggest raptor. The bald headed white ruffed vulture is found in the Andes Mountains and adjacent Pacific coasts of Western South America, but it is under threat. Habitat loss is a problem. The biggest issue is secondary poisoning, which occurs when the scavengers eat carrion contaminated with poison used to control the predators of domestic livestock. Species has been in steep decline in central Chile, but in the Patagonia National Park, things are taking off. That's good to hear. I thought maybe there were certain other areas where the Andean condor was doing better, but seems to be Patagonia National Park is its only stronghold. It seems to be a healthy individual. Oh, you see it lifting off. Okay, so this is after they're releasing them.
Why do we need to see the people?
Yeah, I wonder that about every reintroduction thing. Okay, there we go. We so having spent 2 months in, I guess they were in a prior enclosure to get used to the altitude, the habitat. Okay. See anything else? The birds are all fitted with satellite and radio transmitters. Since 2019, we have been using the satellite monitoring of flight patterns to understand the condor's movements, their threats, and identify where the critical risks are concentrated. This helps design policies and measures of protection within territorial strategies to truly contribute to the effective conservation of this emblematic species for Chile and our region. The Andean condor is a national symbol of Chile, Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, where it plays an important role in folklore and mythology. It's also a critical ecosystem engineer. Condors play a key role in nature. Okay, yeah, they're like the vultures of the area. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it with that. Let's head over to next article. Oh, okay. So, uh, see another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Um, I haven't checked on what's going on with the California condors over in the United States. Their population has been steadily increasing. I believe they're close to the same size. They're around 8 to 9 feet when it comes to wingspan. Oh, I remember this from way back. What did they? I think they spooked him.
Those little things spooked him?
Yeah, I think so.
He's just like, "Ugh, leave me alone."
They must have been just introduced to the pride. The female keeps her young away for just like 6 to 8 weeks.
He just keeps running away.
Yeah, well, obviously at least himself, he's been getting enough food. Okay, let's see what happens here. Oh, what? Huh? Oh, this is fake. There aren't any penguin. This is AI. First of all, there aren't any penguin populations adjacent to this type of or spruce forest, and yeah, even the fish looks fake.
I was actually guessing that the eyes on the penguin made it look fake. The eye just doesn't look real. Matter of fact, look at the fish eye and look at it.
Yeah, quite identical. Fake. Yep, that's AI. Okay, well, back to the next article from CowboyStateDaily.com. Rare 1 in 100,000 piebald cow elk spotted near Cody. OL photographer Michael Moore got photos of a piebald cow elk in a herd southwest of Cody. The rare condition where the elk's hair and fur is more white than brown is seen in less than 1% of the elk in the United States. So this is almost like the piebald white-tailed deer over in certain eastern states. So it's almost like a certain type of dairy cow, but in some cases better looking. Well, this is a bit different from the white-tailed deer, but that's certainly a piebald elk. It's not a white elk, but he's very uniquely looking. So let's see. When Powell resident Michael Moore ventured up the South Fork of the Shoshone River, east of Cody, he was looking for elk. So this is adjacent to the Greater Yellowstone ecosystem, one of the elk herds in the region. Fall is the best time of year to catch them acting up. Every year, there's always a bunch of elk on the J Bar 9 Ranch, right off the highway. I always like to look at the elk when they're in the rut. Moore found a herd of elk right where he expected them to be, but they weren't doing much of anything. That's when he noticed that one elk stood out. It was far above the others. I took a look at it, got it closer with my zoom lens, and saw that it was one of these piebald elk. Instead of the usual brown, this cow elk's entire body was covered in white hair. Moore had seen pictures of piebald elk, but in his many years of hunting and wildlife photography, he'd never encountered one in the wild. It was definitely worth the drive. Oh, yeah. There's around 9 different elk herds that inhabit at least Yellowstone National Park. So, hmm. That just seems like a comfortable herd of elk.
Why do they always look so relaxed?
Um,
I mean, they hang out at people's houses looking like that.
yeah, depending on where they are, there might not be any wolf packs within this region. It vastly depends. It seems to be the instance in this case. There aren't any brown bears in the area. There aren't any black bears. So they're just quite calm. So, let's see. Baldism is the result of a genetic recessive trait to lack of melanin in the skin and hair of animals that rarely manifests in nature. Both parents of an animal must have the same recessive trait to produce a piebald offspring, which has blotches of white covering its body. When a piebald elk was spotted in Estes Park, Colorado, earlier this year, whoa, okay, so that's down over on the Rocky Mountain Front Range. Colorado Parks and Wildlife said the trait only appears in one out of every 100,000 elk. Carrie Decker, Director of Wildlife and Habitat for the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, can verify that statistic, but there's no denying that piebald elk are a rare sight. We generally say it's less than 1% of the population. It's hard to pin down because a lot of fawns that are born with this condition don't live very long, so you don't actually see them in the wild. Decker said there haven't been many studies specifically on piebald elk, except for the fact that both parents must have the same recessive gene for the trait to manifest in their offspring. 1 out of 2 isn't good enough, and a piebald parent isn't guaranteed to produce a matching calf. It's possible for a piebald doe to produce completely normal looking calves. It's just a mix of white and brown fur and skin, but depends on how the female's gene shows up and combines with the male gene. Piebald elk could be more common than biologists realize, but evidence suggests that most elk calves born with the recessive gene don't survive to adulthood. That's interesting. I was thinking, well, maybe they're more obvious to predators, but I think in some cases they might be a bit more camouflaged. Well, maybe in the winter, but probably in the summer, early fall, it's a bit of a different story, late spring. Decker said being piebald can come with a host of genetic issues that can cripple or kill a calf not long after its birth. There are other physical traits that piebald deer, elk, and other animals can experience. There's piebald moose as well. A lot of calves have skeletal deformities. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it really wasn't much of a difference, which can be fairly mild or fairly severe that don't allow them to live for very long. The coloration isn't causing the deformities, but the group of recessive genes that cause them can come along with piebaldism. A skeletal deformity, especially in the long bones of the legs, can be a death sentence for a calf before it's born. They'll usually die of natural causes or be more easily picked off by predators shortly after birth. Hmm, interesting. So, extremely long legs compared to their body size seems to be a problem. Seeing a piebald elk in adulthood means it was born without any skeletal deformities, or it's managed to thrive despite any genetic setbacks. According to Moore, the piebald elk he spotted was young, healthy, and thriving in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. I've heard older cow elk can get grayed up, but I've never seen one. People who've seen my pictures have said this one was actually a pretty young cow, and she seemed to be doing just fine. Uh, Female elk are referred to as cows as well as female moose. Believe even like female red deer and female sambar deer over in India. I've heard older. Let's see. Even Decker hasn't seen a piebald elk in the wild. When someone with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation hasn't seen one, you know it's special. It's definitely rare. It's nothing. Something that we're going to see in the landscape often. Oh, there she is. It's definitely a young elk over here. When you see they just have those one or two pointers, he's not near maturity yet. So, assuming this piebald elk survives the winter, she could go on to produce healthy calves. Some of them could even be piebald, but only if she finds a mate with a bull elk carrying that specific recessive gene. Piebald cow elk is rare enough. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Yeah, we're not concerned about the taste of their meat. Let's head over to next article. So from yahoo.com, harvesting crew is shocked by elk in Buffalo County. Okay, what's going on here? Elk runs from corn as combine approaches. Oh gosh, that would be so sad. And crew out harvesting a field in central South Dakota had a big surprise guest this week. A viewer sent us this video from Buffalo County. As the combine is approaching the end of the corn, you can see an elk running from the stalks. Several pheasants also fly away. According to the South Dakota Game, Fish, and Parks, elk are mainly found in the Black Hills. Oh, anyway, this individual right here, I'm glad I'm glad he noticed. He was just resting, and he and some pheasants ran for their life. Sheesh. Well, I'm glad he got away. Hope he runs into some other elk. Okay, well, um, now we know it's not just white-tailed deer hanging out in the cornfields. There's also elk. So, to the next article from colotv.com. Agency to conduct helicopter captures of deer, elk, wolves in Northern California. So, this month, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife is capturing deer, elk, and wolves by helicopter and outfitting them with GPS collars, according to an agency news release. No, no, let's see what's going on here. Um, yeah, I mean, extra 10. Definitely a lot of stuff happening over in California, especially with the wolves, but it's more of just the livestock predation when it came to also just like one specific pack. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Oh, no, it's one of
What are we
these.
watching?
It's where somebody posts a video and it's just a picture. Oh, no. Am I wrong? I mean, but yeah, this has nothing to do with it. Oh, that was sad. Okay. Let's take a deeper look. Helicopter captures for deer and elk will be done in Alameda, Calusa, Humboldt, Lake, Layson, Modoc, Plumas, Santa Clara, Sierra, Siskiyou, Tehama, and Trinity counties. Woo! Capturing and collaring mule deer, Toole, Roosevelt, and Rocky Mountain elk, all the subspecies. Here we go. Improves the agency's understanding of species distribution, habitat use, abundance, migration patterns, recruitment rates, and survival. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we need to be discussing, not just relocating a specific individual because it has chronic wasting disease or because it's killing off certain livestock. We're actually getting into some important stuff here. Wolves will be targeted in Siskiyou, Lassen, and Tehama counties, and potentially other uncolored packs or wolf groups in Modoc, Shasta, and Pluma counties. After processing, the captured wolves will be returned to the nearest suitable public land habitat, the California Department of Fish and Wildlife said. Deployed collars will transmit data to agency scientists daily for up to 3 years and provide information about animal movements, habitat preferences, and locations. For collared wolves, the agency will share the animals' locations with cattle and sheep producers in order to reduce negative interactions. The GPS tracking collars do not transmit data in real time. Well, this is really good to hear. I have not heard of a single capture, at least so far, of any animal in the United States and in one specific state in this many areas at once. So this is quite astonishing. Wolf movement and location information will automatically populate into the agency's wolf tracker. I'm guessing it's some app. Wildlife capture operations will take place on Colorado Departments of Fish and Wildlife, the U.S. Department of Agricultural Forest Service, and the Bureau of Land Management. In addition to private property with permission from landowners, California Department of Fish and Wildlife is grateful to the USDA Forest Service, BLM, timber landowners, and other private parties for providing access to their lands for these wildlife capture efforts. I forget that you're seeing government entity tell another government entity, thank you. Another one, thank you. It's just weird. I understand when you're telling the landowner thank you, but that is, I don't know, I just find it odd. Um, okay, that's great. But unfortunately, all we got was this picture of what I'm guessing are mule deer being carried off. Let's head over to the next article. Don't forget to subscribe, like, from krtv.com. Whitehall residents concerned about moose wandering neighborhood. Who are these two fluffy people? Um, they don't seem very old either. These look like young moose. Like maybe they're barely, what, 1.5 to 2 years old? Residents in Whitehall neighborhood are concerned about some moose that have been wandering there for the past few weeks. I also don't know exactly where this is occurring. At least 3 moose, an adult, and 2 calves have been seen for the past few weeks in the Rocky Mountain Drive neighborhood. Parents have expressed concern for the safety of their children who walk to a nearby school. Some residents have called Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks about the animals, but no action has been taken. Okay. I thought maybe we were in Colorado, but that still makes sense. You have the Rockies over in western Montana. So we're in the more northern state. So let's take a deeper look, see if anything else occurred. I don't want anything to happen to the moose. And of course, I don't want anything to happen to a kid or a dog or something too. So I was hoping, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks would relocate them while they're still young, manageable. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks told Montana News that it has received calls from that neighborhood concerning the moose, but didn't elaborate on its response. It's like there's
Wait, what?
it's almost like they're like, yeah, get used to it. There's a moose. Okay. That's funny. Is there anything else? Nope. Okay. Let's head over to the next article from yahoo.com. Rangers rescue ram from mud pit in Rocky Mountain National Park. Whoa. So there was a bighorn sheep ram in the area and he got stuck. There was also another incident where a biker ended up rescuing a bighorn that was on the edge of a freezing river. Or kind of stuck in a freezing river. I don't remember what state it was in.
He needs a bath.
Yeah, he does. So I'm guessing it was probably during the rut and he just got stuck. When scaling the side of a near vertical mountain, the Colorado state animal, the Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep, can always find its way in and out of a sticky situation, no matter how narrow the footholds are. For one unlucky ram, a mud pit in the Sheep Lake in Rocky Mountain National Park. Wow, I was thinking this was somewhere else, or even in another state. So this was quite interesting. Proved to be too much of an obstacle to escape from, and a group of park rangers had to rescue it from a sticky situation. The ram had mud up to its chest and was jerking to break free, but its attempts to escape were in vain. When things began to look dire for the struggling ram, a group of 4 park rangers showed up to save the day. A wildlife photographer was able to catch the whole extraction effort on video. The rangers lassoed a rope around the horns of the ram before disappearing outside the frame of the camera. The rangers began to tug on the rope, and the ram continued to squirm, eventually getting its feet on the bank of the pit. Not so sure footed, the ram stumbled onto more solid ground, surely exhausted from trying to leap out of the pit, while also being weighed down by a healthy coat of mud. Yeah, I bet that would have been extremely hard to pull out. I mean, the mud is just adding so much weight and pressure to the situation. Like, especially, a big bighorn sheep, especially a Rocky Mountain bighorn sheep. A ram can weigh, somewhere between 300 to 350 pounds. So we're talking, 160 kilogram animal. That is quite something. You're also having to work against his struggling. Also, is he dehydrated? Is he starving? Underweight? He seems, when looking at the photo, decently healthy, at least by what we can see. Probably hasn't been there for too long, but he definitely was struggling. So let's see. The photographer Kenneth Rager capture was able to capture a remarkable photo of the rescued ram covered in mud and ready to return to a more familiar environment. Well, I'm glad this bighorn got rescued. Let's head over to the next article.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay. Let's see another video. Oh yeah. Kruger National Park, also in South Africa. The animals are experiencing a very extremely wet season, and what I mean by that is there's a lot of flooding in the area. Same thing for any wolves roaming southern Italy, and they're experiencing massive flooding. Okay, let's see what's going on here. So we're probably somewhere in the Patinal. So this is a large ecosystem in the marshes of South America. That that's a big one, but it could be realistic. I mean, jaguars continuously hunt the smaller species of caiman in the region. So the caiman that don't usually exceed 5 to anywhere between 3 to 6 feet in length, or barely 2 meters. So they don't really go after caimans larger than themselves. At least it's rare. Okay, so that was pretty impressive, though. Just quickly getting to its dinner table. So let's see what's happening here. Oh, Lynx. What is he crossing a frozen river or stream or creek? Ooh, he's testing it. Wonder if it's like Canadian lynx. Yeah, he's smelling. Oh, he's going to jump. Okay.
And
We That was very well timed. Oh yeah, this. I saw a glimpse of it a while back. Some wolf pack. I don't remember where this occurred. Is it somewhere in Canada or maybe Russia? No, I'm guessing it's a North American pack because North America has the black wolves.
that's what I was gonna ask. Are they black?
Yeah, a lot of them. Or it's just the camera, or it's just the lighting, but many seem to be black.
How large are packs?
You can have a pack of somewhere between 20 25 individuals, depending on how abundant food sources are, just how large the prey items are in the region. If you're having where they're preying on bison, moose, they're going to be a lot bigger. Okay, so let's see. And it can depend. It could be somewhere like Wyoming, it could be somewhere like Alaska or Russia. some part of Finland. So going on to the sciencealert.com, bizarre new species of flying reptile discovered in fossilized dinosaur vomit. Well, I wonder how they were able to distinguish this. So let's take a deeper look. This looks like some member of the pteranodonted lineage of pterosaurs and a relative of the pterodastro. So one of those specific filter feeding individuals. Imagine throwing up after a bad burrito, only for that to heave.
What?
Yeah, I could. There's a variety of things. You could say, I don't know, asparagus. So let's see. Only for that heave to reveal the existence of onions to scientists 110 million years in the future. Oh, I get it. All right. That's pretty much what just happened, as paleontologists describe a new species of pterosaur from remains found in fossilized dinosaur vomit. The new species has been named Bakiribu waridza, which means comb mouth, in the language of the Karuri people, who are indigenous to the region of Brazil where this fossil was discovered. A lot of fossils coming out of Brazil recently. The reason for that name is clear at a glance. The pterosaur's jaws are packed with long, bristle like teeth, which it probably used to filter feed tiny creatures out of the water like modern baleen whales. That's very true. Or just the other species of pterosaurs that had this unique ability. And we might never have known Barikiribu existed had it not been for an ambitious dinosaur trying to make a meal of it. The bones of two individuals responded in a strange concretion, along with four fish. Okay, so it said 110 million years ago, so this is referring to the early Cretaceous period, the last 10 million years of the early Cretaceous period. A wide range of different species of long necked sauropod occurring over in South America. Different species of carnosaur, actually different species of coelurosaurs like the megaraptors were already they had already evolved. So on closer inspection, I wonder if that's who threw this pterosaur up. Paleontologists from Brazil determined that it was most likely a regurgitellate, in plain terms, fossilized vomit. Wow, it's very intact. Look at that. He must have, whoever consumed this must have hated this pterosaur's digestive system. Just said, this thing has salmonella. We have to get rid of it. And I know I'm comparing that with birds. We don't have any evidence of salmonella being in pterosaurs. I also don't know how old the disease is, but I'm just saying, I'm just making that type of a comparison. So Megaraptor just had a bad day. Some of the pterosaur bones had been cracked and broken, potentially from the predator chewing them. But the dinosaur didn't keep its food down for long. Those comb mouths wouldn't have been easy to digest. Based on the spatial arrangement of the remains, it is plausible that the predator consumed the pterosaurs first, followed by the fish. Oh, it's probably not a megaraptor. I mean, it's definitely possible, but I got a feeling it's somebody else, maybe a bit bigger, and subsequently regurgitated a portion of the ingested mass, likely in response to mechanical discomfort or obstruction caused by pterosaur skeletal elements. And who do we have here? A species of Spinosaur known as Irritator. And Irritator, so was existing in the region somewhere between 110 115 million years ago. So it's about 10 to 15 million years before Spinosaurus would show up and over in Morocco and Egypt. So Spinosaurus never stepped foot into South America or North America. And Irritator was somewhere around 25 to 30 feet in length. They're pushing 9 meters and probably weighed around 2.5 to 3 tons. And since it mentioned the fish, it's very likely the Irritator munched on the pterosaur, and for some reason, its digestive system hated it. There is evidence from bite marks that we have of different species of pterosaur from different spinosaurs. It looks like in the region that spinosaurs were feeding on pterosaurs, despite pterosaurs not having a lot of meat inside of their just on their body in general. Even the largest pterosaurs were quite limited in flesh. Okay, so let's take a look. The identity of the dinosaur whose eyes were bigger than its belly remains unconfirmed, but the prime suspect is a Spinosaurid. These predators weren't necessarily the vicious T Rex fighting monsters they're portrayed as in Hollywood. Instead, they're thought to have mostly chowed down on fish, with the occasional pterosaur in the menu, too. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think we're underestimating Spinosaurus here. We're still talking about a 50-foot long or what pushing 14 to 15 meter 9-ton animal that was still capable of doing a lot of damage. I mean, despite it having a much more lightly built skull, even this irritator, for example, compared to like different species of tyrannosaurs, still had the ability to bite you in half and definitely dismember you as well. They had the largest, at least when it came to the predatory dinosaurs, um, yeah, the largest arms of any theropod dinosaur. And the only other ones that might come close are the larger species of Megaraptor and then larger dromaeosaurs such as Utahraptor and Achillibrator. But caribou is the first filter feeding pterosaur found in Brazil, and it seems to have an intriguing mix of features that help paleontologists fill in the blanks on the evolution of these flying reptiles. But most fascinating is getting a glimpse into interactions between at least three species that once shared an ecosystem. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, no, that's it. Well, that was quite interesting. Now we have pterosaur vomit, and beforehand, I think we saw something about from the late, like the very end of the Cretaceous period, 66 million years ago, with shark vomit over in Denmark. But um, in this case, yes, very interesting. So, Spinosaur very likely regurgitated a pterosaur. Very fascinating. So, are we looking at something else? Oh, no, no, no. I mean, I can do the next one. Okay. Oh, real quick. And on to the final article from lineaid.org. Lineaid, where have all the lions gone? Let's see. I believe they're sleeping in the jungle. 2025 synthesis of lion numbers in Africa and range states capabilities to conserve their lion populations. Alrighty, let's take a look. The Lion E 2025 compilation of lion populations remaining in Africa estimates a total of 13,014 lions in eastern and southern Africa and 342 in western and central Africa, where resident lions are highly genetically distinct. Whoa, that's a decrease from the original estimation that we've been getting for the past 15 to 20 years of 20 to 25,000. Which means there must be far fewer over in the Serengeti region because they were. It's been continuously claimed that around 11 to 14,000 inhabit the Serengeti region, or at least Tanzania and Kenya alone. And yeah, apparently that's, or at least by the looks of this, it's much less. Let's take a deeper look, see what's going on here. This is a substantial decrease from for Western and Central Africa, 410 estimated in the previous estimate. Now, Western and Central Africa, that's not surprising. It's been extremely low. Well, actually, maybe that is shocking. Actually, that is much lower. I mean, there are quite a few countries where it's like only 50 to 100 lions, but uh apparently there is less. So when I'm referring to countries like Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria. So let's see. It is highly disappointing to note the quality of surveys involved in estimating lion populations. Very few are scientifically rigorous. Some surveys include cubs, while others do not. Most lion estimates are still based on guesses. Even in areas where there are active lion research programs, researchers do not seem to prioritize rigorous lion counts. Very many regions that have been surveyed to some extent then use various means of extrapolation to attempt to derive a total number for the area. This lack of standardized survey methods has greatly hindered collection. Let's see what else there is of reasonably accurate lion population data of the 22 nations. Oh, let's see what this is going to tell us that were still thought to have lions prior to this analysis. The species now considered likely extinct in 4. Ouch. Highly fragile in 7. Ouch. And of unknown status in 1. Ooh. This compromised status represents over 50% of those 22 nations, a worrying trend. I did know that a handful of countries didn't have lions at the moment. I think one of them might have been Benin or Togo. And gosh, what's the other one? Maybe not Equatorial Guinea, the Gambia. So situated right in the midst of Senegal. So let's see. Extreme West Africa. This compromised status represents over 50% of those 22 nations, a worrying trend. There were formerly 27 or 48 African nations where lions were already considered extinct prior to this 2025 report. I'm guessing this is, well, saying African, I'm only thinking of sub Saharan Africa. So this is also referring to the North African countries. So that's going to um, add quite a few places onto there. So places like Algeria, Libya, Morocco, Egypt, they originally had um, lion population, especially the Barbary lion, but went extinct like back in the beginning of the early 1900s. And there's a few technically Sahara Desert or Saharan countries over in the east coast, so just north of Somalia. But Somalia, I believe, doesn't have any lions either. Is there anybody else? Well, I mean, there's other countries, but I'm just thinking of the Sahara region. So let's see. There are currently only 5 individual lion populations in Africa, where over 1,000 lions are estimated to occur. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okavango and Chobe in Botswana. Yeah, so it's over the northern part of the country. Serengeti Mara in Kenya, Tanzania. So that the Mara Serengeti is basically a large connected ecosystem. Selous Nyerere in Tanzania, less mentioned. I don't think this is the Ngorongoro crater area. I think it's somewhere else. Let's see. Rongwa Rua in Tanzania and Kruger in South Africa. Yeah, definitely Kruger. Lions are subjected to a diversity of mortality factors. These include retaliation for livestock depredation, including the use of poisons, um, dim, diminution of natural prey because of bushmeat poaching and lion bycatch in snares and gin traps. Direct poaching of lions to provide body parts for Asian and even African traditional medicine components. Claws and teeth widely marketed to tourists. Roadkills and unsustainable levels of trophy hunting prevalent in virtually all African nations that allow lions to be hunted. Lions suffer from a diversity of diseases, most lethal being widespread infection by feline immunodeficiency virus, feline parvovirus, etc. And then more regional threats. Here we go, from canine distemper and bovine tuberculosis are prevalent in some populations. I'm just imagining a lion like doing the kung fu towards this all these diseases. Anyway, in addition, lions are
What was that?
um yeah, a snow leopard I guess would be a better fit. In addition, lions are infected by a great diversity of parasites like hookworm, tapeworm, babesia, thylura, and tyrannosomes, etc. Microparasites like Giardia are also prevalent. This is really good to see that they're taking into account all these different types of diseases that are harmful to the lions. And it's rarely often mentioned when it comes to other diseases, when it comes to why other animals are having a bit of a hard time, not including the human issues. So, I mean, when it comes to things like deer, it's like chronic wasting disease and what's that other one? Blue tongue, I think. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, brainworm, but brainworm's more of a problem for reindeer and I think moose. Not so much white-tailed deer. They're completely fine with brainworm. Let's see. Overall, the situation for continued lion survival in Africa is extremely concerning. The lion is the only large cat not given Appendix 1 protection by CITES and continues to only be listed as vulnerable by the IUCN despite all contrary information. Lion conservation is underfunded and conflicted with several international and local conservation organizations stubbornly promoting trophy hunting as a conservation measure. Um, yeah, before it sounded like there was some benefit into like them breeding lions, and then a bit later on, people with these specific individuals, could shoot one, and the money would go towards to helping other wild populations. But now it just seems like a giant scam and kind of just messed up. Um, let's see. Some nations have seen lions reintroduced to former ranges, including Rwanda and Malawi. While this could be seen as an encouraging development, such reintroduced populations are heavily managed and kept in areas surrounded by fences. Oh, yeah, that is odd. If you're talking about certain wild populations, why would you uh, I I just don't really agree with the fences because it blocks animals from being able to move from one area to the next and prevents genetic variety being exchanged. So, um, anyway, overall, Lion Aid would encourage African range states to develop and implement much stronger lion conservation policies or measures. I think that's it. Um, oh, here we go. Here are the numbers. So, I mean, it's kind of a long thing. I would like to look at this later. Yeah, these are not numbers that's oh, okay. So, I'm guessing Kenya has a total of 2,400 at the moment, or at least um, I think this survey came out relatively recently. Who has the largest? I want to see. No way. Nigeria doesn't have 5,000. Something's off. Uh, I'm confused. GDP. Does Nigeria have that? No way. What am I looking at? I'm confused. I'll have to look into it later. Okay, well, let's take a look at a video.
Okay, some I'm wondering if they're real.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember. Unless this is a new crossing, yeah, the one of the bison herds in Yellowstone. There's two bison herds that decided to cross one of the bridges. We,
Yeah, and a giant. How many are in that herd?
I'm guessing this is like early June or late May. It looks like the calves were just born. Oh, geez, you could have her. One of the herds is over 3,000 individuals.
Wait, 3,000
Yep,
at a time.
yep.
Better not be driving some little car.
Yeah, these all seem to be just females with their calves.
I like how the calf is in front. Okay.
Yeah, it's good to see them trotting along. Like, why cross? Why have to deal with the torrents of the river if you can just take the bridge?
So the calves are kept in front of the parents with them.
Sort of.
A straggler. Okay.
At least there's no wolves coming after them at that moment, or a bear, black bear.
Okay, this one I'm
Yeah, I don't think so. Nope, nope. What?
liver shot. And this one made me wonder.
Lynx?
Yep.
No, it's a snow leopard, which I don't think that's real either. No, I think that's fake. It looks like the same woman that was with the dog earlier. Nope. It's not that somebody can't have a good relationship with a snow leopard, but that's just seemed unrealistic.
I think this might be real.
It's not a mountain goat. That's an ibex. Probably like a Himalayan ibex. I got a feeling this isn't real either.
Wearing a camera.
Nope.
Yeah, that isn't.
No.
Yeah.
These are pixie dust, and that's pixie dust ibex, but also this is the fattest ibex I've ever seen. Uh, is that a wolf or a?
Giving birth in the road.
I think it's possible for them to have twins, but nope. That was far too quick for a calf to get up. Okay. I think this is probably trail camera footage. So these are two young pumas.
Now 3. It's they're waking up. They don't hibernate, do they?
No cat hibernates. It might be a cave over somewhere in Yellowstone. A raccoon wouldn't be eaten by an alligator. Hmm. I mean, it's a young alligator, and
Well, they took off.
I don't know. Could be. Let me guess. He's just. Oh, he's actually climbing. I thought maybe he was just sharpening his claws. Oh,
What? I don't know what she's saying. Get out of the tree.
it's like maybe there's like a black mamba and it's making her nervous. Black mambas can climb trees. That's one of the most venomous snakes in Africa.
Yeah, then the other baby comes over. Another one. Okay. And out you go. I,
um.
was it carrying that big thing?
Oh. This might have been from one of those documentaries. Gosh, what was it? Earth Sounds or um Earth at Night or something. One of those Tom Hiddleston narrated documentaries. And because I remember this distinct dingo, and as well, I think possibly the kangaroo dropping her joey.
That's a dingo?
I think it's one of those black dingoes. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a hybrid. Could be. So like part dog, part dingo.
Does it get away?
Yeah, dingoes have pretty good stamina, just like wolves or coyotes, African painted dogs. Um,
My
I thought he hit the rock for a second.
God. It's like a marathon. That is. Huh.
I remember though in the nighttime shot they did get one of the kangaroos, but I don't even think it was a joey. I think they actually got a full grown one.
Okay, last one. Yeah. Let's get away.
Yeah, I wonder if this is one of those Zimbabwe or Zambia instances.
They all run.
Yeah, there's some instances where they will take on full-grown hippos, but when you're adjacent to the water like this, they just it's too risky for them.
They get you into the water. It's over.
Yeah. Mm. Okay, well, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guy Live Daily News. Remember to like, subscribe, and I know I repeated that.
Yes.
Something I was supposed to say. Well, remember, it's nothing better than all animals